The question is, what do you do when you are in the situation when October 7th has happened, right? And this is we've had people who have different perspectives on this conflict, as you know. Bassem Youssef was one of them. And I asked him what I think is a very legitimate question, is like, what should Israel have done? Forget about the occupation, let's accept all
of that has happened already.
All of that has already happened. Let's accept it. And I don't want to argue about it. I don't want to go into history because everyone's got their own arguments and blah, 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 blah.
My point is, like, you can just oppose what Israel did to Gaza and not have to come up with a solution. But I think it's also a fair question to ask. Well, I think it's fine to say this is morally over the line.
No, not really, because ultimately they have to do something.
Okay, well, fine. But no, I mean, I also think it's an interesting question and kind of a thought experiment. So I can go to October 8th. I can't change anything that's happened before that. I have to inherit that world. And then what would we do after October 8th? Well, look, I mean, I do think first and foremost, I think Netanyahu should have resigned in disgrace. So back to the
Netanyahu's resigned in disgrace. Dave Smith is Prime Minister of Israel.
Well, look, I would say that I think there are, again, like, even with like what you're talking about with Rogan, and where I think people will go like, well, imagine Mexico attacked America in this way. Like, what would we do to Mexico? But I also do think that, like, there's a really fundamental difference between Gazans attacking Israel and Mexico attacking America. Because Mexico, although obviously there's a huge power discrepancy between our two governments, they are a government with a military and some degree of sovereignty.
All right, so first off, that is exactly the question that the pro-Pali movement seems not to be able to answer. What should Israel have done? What would you have Israel do? They often say Israel is committing a genocide, but then they don't have any other solution. And yeah, he squirms around, and he tries to pretend like he does, and he uses all different types of examples. And then he comes to the conclusion that he actually doesn't have an answer for that question. Knowing, by the way, that he would be asked this question because Konstantin always asks this same question to every single pro-Palestine activist. Now, beyond that, what he says about Nick Fuentes is kind of hilarious. Yeah, I think he hates me, but I'm still going to defend him. Let's continue defending that guy, even though, or maybe he doesn't. I don't even know what he's doing. He's defending Tucker's right to have him on and then not question him because he's so popular and basically he just wants to be in Nick's good graces because Nick has such a huge platform. I know so many people that Nick Fuentes doesn't ring a bell in their mind. You say Nick Fuentes to many people, who's Nick Fuentes? I get who's Nick Fuentes all the time.